Okay, wiring update on the robotics project. I got a few items in, so hopefully we'll get the control wiring for the steering servos and the 12-volt supply for the DC motors in this weekend. So I've got some male-female JST connectors here for the motors. So that way, in the event that there was a motor failure, I could disconnect without having to undo a bunch of the wiring harness. Those aren't long enough to make all the way up to the chassis, so I got some extension cable for those as well. That extension cable is going to terminate in a black JST connector. You can see here I have the connector, two-position connector shells, as well as the internal connectors, and those will mate up perfectly to these dip headers here that all cut to length. And those will be inside the chassis where it connects to the motor controller. Then additionally, for the servos, I got some 24-inch servo extension cables. I've never seen any like these before. There you go, focus. The nice thing about these is they have that little clip, so when you put the corresponding servo lead in there, it locks into place. I'll show you that in a second. And then to try to tidy up the wiring on the robot itself, I quickly designed and printed out these wire harness holders, so to speak. You know, they're held on with a wire tie, so that way the motor lead here and the servo lead get tidied up. And this is what that looks like installed. I've done one side, so I soldered the leads onto the motor, and then there's the first holder, and then you can see here as I go up the chassis, I've added those holders. I haven't extended the DC cable here so you can't see it, but all the motors now have those holders on them, all the chassis parts. And if you're wondering about this big loop here, the motor is going to have to spin to 90 degrees in either direction. So that's why I've added that loop. I may redesign a holder down here that holds this closer to the suspension arm. Yet to be determined. But in any case, that's going to be a real clean installation for the wiring. I'll give you an update as soon as I've extended the DC bus and got everything all tied in.